Howdy, 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 everybody. I just want to cut in here real quick. We have a really cool showcase for today that the Crystalis community has pitched us. I'll let them explain it a little bit better, but we're doing a 2v2 multi-world. I'm sure most of you have come from the community, so you know what you're seeing. So I'm going to make this a little bit quicker and let our commentators actually explain the nuances and cool stuff. This next month I wanted to go over is packed and kind of ridiculous, so I wanted to get it covered at the head of the show. Next weekend, we have the Final Fantasy VII 100% TAS. That will be Saturday and Sunday, because 100% TAS is just a little showcase of 12 hours. So we'll be having 2 6-hour streams on that. The next weekend's a little bit topsy-turvy as well, the 11th and the 12th. We're actually going to be doing our Stellar Blade random encounters on the 11th. And because of runner availability, we'll be doing it a bit later in the day at 2 p.m. Eastern right now. May shift that a little bit more. Then we'll be actually doing our podcast on the 12th at noon. Then we have the Octopath Traveler celebration anniversary that me and Ashton are going to be helping with. They put together a very robust list of games, individual character runs with a huge variety of runners. So if you like Octopath and any of that series, you should check that out. And then we have, well, this one's not ours, but I'll shout it out anyway. On the 25th, we have the Lufia 2 Ancient Cave Fiddle Blowout. And then we'll either have, on the 26th, I'm still messing around with this right now, a friend of the channel, Zujin, or as I call him Charles, because that's his given name, has become the BOF 3, or BOF Task Wizard -4 at the moment. But we're either going to be showcasing BOF 1 or BOF 3. We want to make sure that we have the appropriate commentary for that. But either way, we might have some interesting stuff. Maybe we can get it console verified for BOF 1, but we'll dig into that a little bit later. Now that I've wasted 120 seconds or 2 minutes of your life, I'm going to kick it over to Code Gorilla and let you guys start the show, which is what you guys actually came here for, right? Take it away, Code.
Hello, everyone. I am Code Gorilla. I am joined today by my co-commentator, Matrick. Matrick, how you doing, buddy?
Excellent, Code. Let's get this going. We got a good race here today.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop the gates while we start talking about what we're doing here today. So this is a preview of our upcoming community tournament. We are doing 2v2 tournaments using Archipelago Multiworlds. So what you see here is essentially how our tournament races are going to work. We have 2 different flag sets. There is a combat-focused one, which are going to be our bottom 2 runners, and a exploration-focused one, which is going to be our top 2 runners. And so you can see we've already gotten off to a fast start. Matrick, you want to talk a little bit about the flag sets as the person who did most of the design work for them?
Yeah, so the exploration flag set, which is the one that is on the top, if you are paying attention, that one is a flag set that is focused primarily on the exploration and puzzle-solving aspects of our randomizer. The combat flag set, true to its namesake, does not utilize a lot of the glitches, doesn't have some of the randomized trade-ins and unidentified key items and puzzle aspects of the game, but to counteract that, it has very low experience gains and some brutal combat situations where the players are not going to be guaranteed that they're going to have the power items that are necessary to make bosses easier. So the idea behind it is that anybody can jump in and play and learn and play to their strengths in this kind of a tournament, because some players are exceedingly good at combat and other players are good at the game but may struggle a little bit with the combat. And so it's tailored so that everybody can find something that's good, when it comes to having a race format.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that excited me about doing an Archipelago 2v2 tournament was the ability to have different flag sets. We have various co-op modes, and there's various ways of playing co-op randomizers where it's just like 2 players playing the same seed and sharing information. But whenever you're doing any of those, you have to be playing the exact same flag set with the exact same seed. Something like this, you get to actually change it up and have get different players to play to different strengths.
Yeah, definitely correct. So a couple of things to start off here. You'll notice that none of the runners on the bottom have a sword yet. Despite the fact that they're in the combat seed, there is no guaranteed starting sword. And they have a flag called Oops All Mimics on. So they're kind of running around right now just gaining information on the world itself, as opposed to, actually being able to make any progress with item checks. The top flag sets both have a Sword of Water and a Sword of Wind. So it's going to be up to them right now to find the information that they need in order to get them going forward. You will notice that their items get picked up. They are shown as AP items. And then when the item actually gets delivered to the player, that's when we get to see what the item is that they actually got. So there's a little bit of a delay between when an item gets picked up and when it's actually delivered. And those are the things that we're looking out for, is to see who gets the item when it goes in there.
And it looks like the exploration flag set may have hit a little bit of an early... No, sorry, the combat flag set has hit a little bit of an early BK. Although I see Tornell on the bottom right exploring Goa, although there's not exactly much to explore, given that there's not really anything you can do without a sword early on. So we should find a sword for the combat seed relatively early, but the exploration flag set has 2 swords and a lot of the world to go look at. I believe they have access to both of their GBC cave exits, so that gives them quite a lot to look through.
Correct. And, I just wanted to point out that Tornell decided to stop over at Bro Kahana's house for a beer. It's a common thing to do. He didn't have a whole lot else going on, so he may as well visit a friend he'll be back to visit later on. We'll be calling, different checks by, the community names for him. That is Bro Kahana. He is actually an NPC, which when Akahana is slain during the assault on Chiron, he will then give you an item if you change into Akahana and trick him. So we call him Bro Kahana.
Meanwhile, on the top side, top left, you see Axeman going into Fog Lamp Cave. It's not something you really want to do early, but we don't have a lot of other options at this time. So, it does look like we're going to be able to full clear it. Axe showing off a little by actually positioning himself correctly to stab some flail guys. That's very tricky to do.
Yeah. The other thing is we have a pretty big divergence here with Chris deciding to push his way into Goa immediately. Now, technically, this is considered outside of logic. The logic requires that you would have barrier in order to get through those statues. But Chris has decided, nope, this is Styxy. Sorry, this is Styxy. This is not Goa. This is Styxy. So there are 3 checks here on the left side. The other 3 on the right side are not accessible until they have flight.
Yeah, honestly, this early on in the seed, and with your partner BK'd, I don't know that I like this, honestly. I think I would be trying to stick to the logic as much as possible, because somewhere early in the logic is going to be a sword for the combat seed, and they really need any sword to get anything going.
Correct, yeah. Now, Chris did find teleport. That is huge. Teleport is going to be key for getting around the map. But, not having a sword. That was a medical herb in the axe chest. Teleport in the top chest. We'll have to see what's at the Sword of Thunder spot. Meanwhile, Axeman's still plowing through the Fog Lamp Cave here. There's one more check. I did see a pair of rabbit boots get sent over to the other side.
Yep.
That is a consumable, so it looks like the left
it was another
side,
medical herb. Yeah.
Yeah, the left side is pretty much bust, and it looks like Chris is gonna do Carissa first. Interesting.
I like what Sirius is doing here. Just kind of, okay, I've activated both the mimics. I've gotten them both next to each other. As soon as I get a sword, I'm unpausing and killing both of these as quickly as possible.
Yep, that'll be 2 real quick checks, and just holding on to it and keeping it primed is good. All right, so it looks like Axe may be going to check to see if Saber South is accessible here through the Zebu check.
Yeah, it looked like Fog Lamp was kind of a bust.
Yeah. Looks like Chris didn't have the sword for the Crease Plant Cave. So it must be.
I think I saw Axe check Carissa Plant earlier as well.
Yeah, so I'm guessing what we're going to have to do here is take the second exit out of the GBC cave through the wall, maybe. No?
I think they were. The Portoa region is the second exit. So they haven't gone through the first one yet.
Ah, okay, that's right. This is Cordell Plains, so this is another set of checks. One thing we didn't mention here is that on the exploration side, there is a flag that is shuffling all the housing entrances. And what that means is that the housing entrances are all going to be grouped amongst different types of groupings. It's organized. So all of the locations that are outside of town are going to be grouped together. The palaces pyramid, Stixie Cave, all those are shuffled amongst each other. And then the individual houses within the towns are also shuffled amongst each other. So players know what they're looking for, but not necessarily exactly what it is. Now that was Flight that Axe picked up there in the grass at the Kaladan spot. So that's a good one. That's going to get access to different areas, but it will not yet still needing a sword. But it's also possible here that Flight's going to lead to the Chiron entrance, and then Zebu could hold the first sword.
Yeah, it does get you to Chiron Temple, so it is actually worth a check.
Yeah, it depends on whether Zebu is here or not, or if this is a... oh no, this is not a shuffle flag set. Never mind. Zebu is guaranteed to be here. This is guaranteed to check. Free item. There's going to statue glitch through real quick. And we get... there it is.
Sword of
That's
Thunder.
The first sword. Okay, that is progress.
That's interesting.
And Sahara access. So the Thunder Sword will warp you to one of the towns in the game. It's picked at random when the seed is generated. And this time it's sent him to Sahara. So Saris is going to go fly right over to the pyramid and take a look at, and pay a visit to Dragon 1 and get a couple items here.
Honestly, that's pretty convenient because I feel like that's one of the first places you'd want to go with Flight and a sword anyways. So
yeah,
might as well, right?
Yep. Good play. I like it a lot. So we now know that Chris is going to have to make his way over to Cordell Plains to be able to get the flight spell for Tornell so he can go and find his sword. So that's what they're currently looking for, and it looks like that's where he's at this point.
Yeah, it does mean that Team Teal is a decent amount ahead here. There's still plenty of time left in this race for that to change, but yeah, just not wasting that time on left side Stixie is paying off for them.
Yeah, pretty big. Not to mention, that was an out of logic play, as we mentioned, and not having the sword immediately. I'm in agreement with you that doing the out of logic play right off the bat is probably not the strat, but this is still relatively new in terms of racing with teams to us. So runners are still learning strats. They're still developing, the ways in which they're handling these things. And so that's what makes this kind of fun, is we get to see some of the learning process, on the fly.
For those of you familiar with how Archipelago works, there is progression balancing on in both of these flag sets. So that's part of why I'm saying that it's probably better to stick to the in-logic things, because there is some guarantee that, if you're able to do things, the logic should put the ability for your partner to be able to do things in logic as well. So if your partner is stuck, I think it's better to stick to logic.
Yeah, looks like Axe might be doing might be going for a hell run here. Not sure. That is
like that's what Chris is doing on the top right.
Yep. I do see Tornell did get his Sword of Thunder, as he is in Sahara, so that's good. Good progress. We're going to see some quick catching up here.
Actually,
nope,
doesn't have the Sword of Thunder. Just has Flight. Flew over there manually.
Yeah, he did. He did not. I assumed he did, but nope. That tracker definitely shows he does not.
I wonder if Tornell knows that he has a check available in Logic, because he's acting like he doesn't.
Yeah, I know too that many of the runners here have been playing both flag sets, and they're so dramatically different that it's very easy to get some of this stuff confused. And yeah, he may just think that he doesn't have access to Chiron because the glitches are not on for the exploration flag set, but they are for the combat flag set.
Yeah, so notably, if you're playing the exploration flag set, you are required to have change to get into Chiron, or else have triggered the Chiron massacre. Either of those works.
Yeah, that puts the guards to sleep permanently. Remember, as long as you don't talk to them, they stay sleeping. That's how it works, right?
That seems right to me.
Perfect. Yeah, all right. I'll remember that for any other game in which I see people sleeping on the ground. Tornell is making his way over to Chiron, it looks like, but this flail guy is giving him the business.
Yeah, it looks like he's opting to reset rather than crack that opal.
Yeah, the opal statue for the uninitiated is an item which, when you die, it will fully heal you and cure all status effects.
But you don't want to lose him to some random chump flail guy on Mount Hydra. You really want to save him, especially on the combat side. You want to save him for the bosses.
Mado 2 and Sabera 2, more specifically.
Yeah.
And maybe Kelby 1.
Yeah. Those are the three that give people the most problems.
Yeah. Alright, Ceres has triggered the Chiron Massacre and does not have Goa access. That iron wall is not thunder breakable. But we're going to make an attempt at Mado 1 here, it looks like. Axe, meanwhile,
looks
fighting
like Axe
Stom.
is opting to actually fight Stom.
Now, if I read that correctly, Tornell is looking for the flame bracelet. So we know that that's the check that's necessary on the mountain.
Yep.
The other thing is, I'm pretty sure that was the bow of truth that was just found. Oh, maybe not.
Looks like the bow of moon.
Oh, okay. It mentioned it as bow of freedom, but it was on screen for a little while, so I figured it was playing the jingle, but I can't actually hear it, so I'm not certain of that.
Yeah. The tracker should be accurate for those. I didn't bother to try and obscure it when making that tracker because so for anyone not familiar with how unidentified items work, basically everything is named within its category. So all the bows could have the same names, and they're all going to be named like some kind of bow or some kind of pun on the word bow. But for the bow specifically, the bow of truth always plays the fanfare when you receive it, whereas the bow of sun and bow of moon do not, which means you can actually tell which bow is the bow of moon and which bow is the bow of truth and which ones are not. So the tracker just outright tells you because it might as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Tornell taking down Dragon 1 on his end after having got his sword. Looks like Axe is currently going through Saber South, but if I'm not mistaken, the southern part of it was blocked by Thunder, which they do not have, because I saw that over on Chris's side earlier. And it looked like Mado dropped a Mimic, by the way, because I saw the AP item get picked up and then nothing on either side, therefore Mado 1 drops a Mimic. Looks like Ceres might be looking for some herbs here, just for safety's sake.
Yeah, you definitely... So one of the things that the combat flag set has is slower XP scaling. You can see Ceres is still only level 1. Now granted, the combat side did get their swords a little later, so they didn't have as much time to grind experience, but you know, those early levels especially, you just kind of struggle a fair bit. So having the healing items is definitely useful. The other added benefit is if your consumable inventory is full, you can't be sent more consumables, which saves a little bit of time. Of course, you're going to lose that time when you're trying to actually buy specific consumables later on, like if you're trying to buy warp boots, but...
Yeah. So again, it looks like Chris here is getting around, just doing some experience. I think he might think he's in BK mode, which is very possible. It's hard to tell at this point because Axe is now making the check that Chris made a long time ago. So technically, they're pretty close. Tornell is a little bit behind Saris, but Chris and Axe are basically neck and neck at this point. Saris is going through the Oasis Cave here. There are 3 checks that are available right off the bat, and potentially a 4th if the Iron Wall is breakable here by the Sword of Thunder. Okay. That was...
Like, the battle armor chest was the recorder for the exploration side. That's going to be one of the flutes. We don't know which one.
Oh, and the Oasis Cave final wall is not breakable by Thunder. Cornell taking on Mado 1 now. Should be really easy. They have a pair of rabbit boots. Rabbit boots allow you to charge while running, which is not something that the base game has as an option. It is a nice quality of life feature that we did to try to balance out some of the worn items to make sure that the Power Ring and Warrior Ring don't just trump everything else. So Mado should go down pretty quick here for Tornell. And it looks like Saris is going to go in the backside of Goa. We'll get to see which floor is going to be the first one.
Yeah, so the combat flag set has randomized Goa floors. So the 4 floors of Goa are shuffled amongst themselves, and some of them are flipped upside down. So we can see that the top floor of Goa is an upside down Sabera's floor. So we get to start by doing the exploration part of Sabera's floor, and then we'll maybe have the Sabera 2 boss fight if we can break the wall that leads to it.
Correct. Alright, Saris picked up another item. Didn't see what it was. Either that or it hasn't come through yet.
It looks like it was just another consumable.
Meaning the inventory's full. Couldn't be picked up.
Yeah.
That was a Metroid amiibo that was grabbed there for Axe. So that's one of the statues in the game. So the statues are different turn-ins for different things. It could be combined with the one of the lamps to make that check. It could be traded into any number of the NPCs since they are all shuffled in terms of what they want. Just need to find out which one of them is looking for a statue of some kind and hope that that's the correct statue.
And it looks like Axe was going into Waterfall Cave to test the recorder that he got. It was not the Flute of Lime, so we can't get past the statues there yet.
It looks like he might be... did he already check? Looks like he's headed towards the windmill guard to see if it's a alarm flute. If it's an alarm flute, then that's a check.
I don't know if we've seen the right houses to actually unlock the windmill guard is the thing.
Good question. Actually, it looks like he's just going to check to see what location is at the windmill, and Chris saw this earlier. It's a boathouse. So this location, once the boat owner has been given the item he's looking for, will have Kentsu in it, and Kentsu will drop a treasure chest.
Just gonna poke in here. Since you mentioned it in chat, I figured it'd be best to double dip on this for VOD viewers, because we do actually have quite a few people that enjoy these later. Someone in chat asked, and I mean you did answer, but if someone picks up a chest, it'll always say it's an AP item, then get distributed to the partner a few seconds. That is correct? Correct code, Gorilla?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, so speaking from the technical implementation details, I should mention, I'm the one that developed most of the Archipelago implementation of this randomizer. So from the technical details section, in terms of getting this to actually work, it was easier to just completely break the connection between checking a location and receiving an item. So that's why even stuff you find for yourself says it's an AP item, gets sent to the server, and then sent back from the server. It does not have some Archipelago implementations. Your local items will actually be local, and like if you checked it while playing offline, you'd actually get the item. That is not true here.
Yeah, it also makes sure that the Sentinel picks everything up. So if you have to, reset or you die or whatever, you're still going to get the item that you picked up, even if it's local. So that's one of the nice benefits of it.
It does mean you can cheese the system a little bit. We actually briefly saw Ceres do this earlier in Oasis Cave, where she went through, checked everything in Oasis Cave, and at the end of Oasis Cave, she just reset. And all the items are still sent out, so it didn't matter that she reset. She just lost any experience or gold she would have picked up during that time, and honestly, Oasis Cave, you're not fighting anything. The place is basically barren.
Yeah, there's 2 spawn locations in the entire zone. They normally consist of 2 flyers, but they're not guaranteed to be flyers, and they're not guaranteed to spawn in an area you're ever going to walk. So, yeah, it's very possible you see nothing in there.
Yeah, basically, that has to do because most of the spawn slots in that room are taken up by the paths you can freeze to actually get through the room.
Yeah, and that's more technical stuff, but basically this game has a set number of spawn slots, and if there's a lot of walls and bridges, then there can't be that many enemies, because those walls and bridges have to guarantee to be there all the time. So they always occupy those slots.
Look at all those Medusas in Cornell's side.
Actually,
actually, we'll see him again in Ceres' side in a minute. Yeah, can't even do anything about him.
Medusas are a great target because they're very high experience value and they're pretty easy to kill, especially if you have something like the rabbit boots or a warrior ring. Tons of experience, tons of money, big slow targets. We like Medusas a lot.
Yeah. The downside here, though, is they are only weak to 2 of the 4 elements, so when you only got 1 or 2 swords, you might just not be able to kill them at all.
Yep.
But yeah, there's so many in this hallway.
It's 8 Medusas. We love it. You love to see it as a runner. Okay, so the Vampire Cave is not clearable because it requires a water sword. I didn't see Tornell check it originally when he walked up there, but I just did see Cirrus do it right now. And that was a Sword of Fire. Wait a minute. The Sword of Fire is at the Ball of Wind location. So at the end of the Vampire Cave here, as far as they're able to progress, that is the Sword of Fire for the combat seed. So that's going to open up more locations for them to be able to check here shortly. That's going to continue the progression chain.
Now, it looks like we have an answer on what that recorder is on the Explorer side, and it is the Shell Flute.
Oh, very nice.
So you can see Axe has made it out onto the ocean and is doing some checking there.
Yeah, there is going to be the item in the channel behind the Portoa cave, and then there's also going to be Evil Spirit Island here. And Axe is going to go and check to see if this statue happens to be the Statue of Gold to remove the whirlpool. And it is! So this is an item check, and it's going to give him Swan access as well, assuming they didn't come from that direction, but I don't think they did.
No, because they don't have change yet, so there's no way for them to get there.
So this is uncharted territory. We have a number of houses that are here. That is an Elder that doesn't matter from Joel. This is the dance studio. They got to keep track of that. That's necessary for a trade-in quest later. This is the rabbit that is necessary to talk to if we have to come in from the bottom side of Saber South when that quest gets done. And overall, not a terrible town. There's actually good value in there. I do feel like the Teal team is just a little bit ahead at this point. There has been additional progression from both Cirrus and Axe over what Tornell and Chris currently have. So just a little bit of a lead, not enough to make a huge deal out of it, but a small lead nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know a lot of viewers, like to know who's ahead, who's going in front. And right now, it's pretty close, but it's a very slight advantage to the Teal team.
I concur. It does look like on the pink side, Chris is either pondering what to do or believes that he is actually stuck.
Well, he does not have that recorder yet. Tornell has not found that. So he does not currently have the same Shell Flute access. It was from...
It was Oasis Cave.
Floor. I thought it was Sabera's floor on the backside of Goa.
No, it was from Oasis Cave.
Okay,
Oasis Cave, Battle Armor Chest. Yeah.
excellent. Yeah.
One of the
so
nice
there
things
we go.
about Archipelago is I just have a text client up for both of the rooms, so I can actually just scroll back and see where they found things.
Yeah, it's a little more convoluted on my end.
Yeah. I think for the actual tournament, I'm going to want to add some dedicated spectator slots. Yeah, so one of the fun things about this particular showcase we're doing here is it kind of just worked out really well between our community and the RPG Limit Break folks, because they wanted to try out some Archipelago multi-world stuff on their streams, and we want to show off this tournament flag set, drum up a little bit of interest for our tournament, and also ourselves work out some of the kinks in actually running these races. And so it was just a natural fit to have this on the show, and honestly, this is going great so far. So
Yeah, absolutely. Cornell has realized that the Oasis Cave is open. He's going to go there and find that recorder so that Chris can start making progress again. This is good. That'll get him back on the correct track. Oh, but Tornell, is he going to go straight into Goa? We'll have to see here. Maybe he's just getting the first check and then going back to Oasis Cave. Yeah, okay. Runners do a lot of different things. Everybody has their own philosophy on how they like to approach, different areas and different situations.
meanwhile, the Teal team has high-fived in Mount Hydra.
Oh. It's nice to see that Goes and Ledge here has a guaranteed mimic on the combat side, and Goes and would be proud. Okay, Axe does not have access to anything in Hydra, as we already knew before. Those are both firewalls for both sides, actually, so both seeds require the Sword of Fire to get through.
Interestingly, we have a complete set of swords on each team, just 2 for each player.
Yeah, true. And with their powers combined, they could complete a run.
Unfortunately, that is not how this works. We do need both players to complete their run. It's worth noting that the story mode flags are different on each of these 2 flag sets. So on the combat side, you are required to defeat all of the required bosses and collect all 4 swords in order to be able to beat the game. So basically, the combat side, the 2 on the bottom, their entire tracker needs to be lit up before they can actually beat the game. On the top side, technically all you need is any sword, all 3 bows, and flight, and that's good enough. That said, again, if you're familiar with Archipelago mechanics, release is off, collect is off, remaining is off. There is no benefit to goaling your game before your partner is also in go mode. So typically you won't see people rush the end just because they can.
Sarah's doing her best Neo impression there and taking an arrow through the top of her head and not taking any damage. That was making me proud throughout that entire cave, using strats at very low HP while exploring. That is the way to do it. It's a bow of truth. That is necessary.
So change in a bow of truth out of the top of Mount Hydra there.
Yep. Chris now doing the ocean exploration that Axe has done, so that's pretty good. Tornell going in the backside, gonna head into Sabera's floor here, gonna find out he can't. Well, actually, he's got an extra sword. It's possible that the Sword of Fire is gonna break the Iron Wall and give access to Sabera. We haven't seen this yet, because when Saris went, she only had Thunder. So this is actually, then there's 2 Iron Walls that are here. So technically this is potential that there is more progress to be made. Okay, but that wall went down with Thunder. I didn't see it last time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did catch that Series did the top left wall in Sabera's floor earlier.
So I'm noticing over there that Axe was able to clear out Evil Spirit Island, and he's now in Sabera's fortress, if I'm not mistaken.
Was this found off of ESI?
I think it was.
I don't actually know if this is in Zombie Town or not.
I thought it was.
Because of the... It might be.
Alright, Sarah's gonna make her way, it looks like, into the ocean areas now. Cornell, meanwhile, finishing up clearing the last chest here on Sabera's floor, gets poisoned by a brain. Remember, don't eat brain. It's poisonous.
Oh, that's big on the exploration side. So that, in Sabera's Fortress, was the Sword of Wind for the combat side.
Yeah, huge. That's now a 75% chance that the Sabera wall is accessible, and a 75% chance they can clear out ESI. So we'll have to see when Ceres gets there, if ESI is accessible or if it's a water wall. Wow, that went really quick. I tried to watch it. I was like staring at it, and Axe clicked that off so fast.
Alright, so we can get to Sabera too.
And she's weak to thunder. Okay. Oh, Tornell's gonna go for a sword charge glitch. That's a long way to go, but you know what? Sabera 2 has incredibly high HP and defense, and doubling your damage output is literally gonna have the fight. So I don't blame Tornell for wanting to do this. He seems
I don't think he's doing a sword charge glitch. I think he's just looking to get a level. Yeah,
okay.
He's 15 experience away.
I wouldn't fault him either way, because there's so much. It's such a long fight. I would probably go out and do the sword. Well, I say that, but
I think if I was going to set up a sword charge glitch, I would just teleport out to Goa, restock, and then fly in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like it was just the level.
That's going to add 1 point of damage and 1 point of defense, 16 HP. And we're doing 2 damage a shot. Yeah. Sure you don't want to go sword charge glitch this one, Tornell? That is 123 shots. Okay, well, I'm going to look the other direction for a couple of minutes here, because Tornell's going to be here for probably 5 minutes.
Looks like our teal team is once again high-fiving, this time in ESI. Yuri's getting through it a lot faster with flight.
Yeah, and we do have full access because it is a vanilla wind wall throughout, so it means that ESI can be cleared. And yeah, Axe definitely went through, did not go through here, I'm sorry. When you get to, what do you call it? It must have been in Portoa. It's the only way it would have been
able to get in. So both players get to full clear ESI right now.
Yep.
Meanwhile, it looks like Chris has picked up that Sword of Wind for Tornell. He will not receive it until the boss fight is complete. One of the things I did do is just... You can't get sent items during boss fights. That just seems somewhat unreasonable. Plus, there's some technical reasons that would break things if you were to receive an item during a boss fight.
Yeah.
We might actually see some broken graphics when Tornell finishes this fight and gets something sent immediately afterwards. Alright, so we are popping it open
with the tackles. Yeah, that was a good tackle from Sabera. Putting on her football helmet and going linebacker mode for a moment.
Tornell was at least able to capitalize on the invincibility frames a little bit and get some stabs in, just because it's a lot faster to be able to stab, but usually you can't reliably stab Sabera because of the flames that are circling her at basically all times.
So Ceres popped an opal on a mimic and got her own Stixie key out of that mimic. So that will be 6 checks available for Ceres when she's done with Sabera's Fortress here.
Yeah, with flight you should be able to get everything in there pretty easily.
Yeah. A lot of mimics to kill. But,
Okay.
All right, down goes Sabera too. Getting the Sword of Wind. And what do we got here?
Immediately getting spammed with a bunch of items.
Battle armor. Very nice. Nobody's ever going to complain about battle armor.
Yeah.
Get a nice, powerful piece of equipment and poison immunity. The negative thing about poison
Especially
immunity...
when the game funnels you into Motto 2 immediately after that fight.
Right? So Mado 2 is, as you can see, very fast. He's weak to fire, so that's actually good, level 2 sword. But he's a loose cannonball and goes very fast, and it's not realistic to dodge him in any way, shape, or form. You just pray he doesn't decide to repeatedly bounce off the wall directly into your face. Because if he decides to come your way, there's an exceedingly low chance you're moving. As you can see here, Cornell just getting absolutely pinballed.
Yeah. This is why you're extremely happy to have that armor. Tornell would be long dead by now if he didn't have that armor.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa, those are some dodges.
I don't even know if I can call that dodging so much as just standing on the wall and praying. It paid off this time. Good job. Mado 2 down.
Didn't even have to crack an opal. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't even know that he has one still.
That's true. He spent one on Zabera. I don't know if he has another.
A little broken graphic there on Asina.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
There's a lot of pattern table changes that happen in this game, and sometimes there's certain levels of understanding we don't quite have with regards to fixing some of this stuff. It's a very complicated kind of thing. Oh, and there's the fourth sword. So Mado was hiding the water sword. So now that's all 4 swords for the combat side. Means once Ceres is done with Sabera 1 here, her next method of progression is definitely going to be to go back to Goa.
Yeah. At that point, you get to basically full clear Goa, with the exception of, like, maybe Slime Kensu. Yeah.
Yeah, Ivory Statue has not been located yet. Okay, so Ceres decided she didn't want to pop the opal. And,
actually, you say that, Ivory Statue was located. It's on Vampire 2 in Sabera's Fortress, so Ceres can just full clear Goa after this.
Fair enough. But yeah, she reset out of the boss fight, did not set a checkpoint, so she was able to redo it. She did not want to pop that opal.
I can kind of understand that, especially this boss fight is not too bad with your level 2 fire sword. You can see that went by pretty quickly on the second try.
Yeah.
And having that available in Goa is going to be a huge help.
Alright, so here on Mado's floor, this is the final wall. And then after this, there is one check right up above. And then it's off to either Carmine's floor or Kelbask. Consumable. Did Ceres get speed boots?
I think so. There were speed boots found somewhere. I forget where it was, though.
That sure is speed boots. I was just looking and I was like, man, she is zooming. Those are speed boots.
Portola Queen, for the combat side, has speed boots. Their own speed boots.
Okay. Ooh, Ceres is going to go and clear out Saber South.
I will say, one team member having speed boots is not as big of an advantage, because all that can really mean sometimes is that player gets BK'd faster. It's still good, obviously. Speed boots are best accessory in the game for racing. But I don't think it's as a big of a swing as it would be in a one-on-one race. Now, if Axe also had speed boots and Chris didn't, then we'd be talking.
So those who missed it, Tornell went back into the room above Kelbesk 2 and performed a sword charge glitch there in order to get the level 2 charge here on the Sword of Water, because they don't actually have the Ball of Water yet. So that is a quick kill, pretty quick kill on Kelbesk. He was very cooperative. That's rare. Very rare for Kelbesk to decide he wants to stand around and shoot instead of tackle you. A much better linebacker than a marksman. That is a pile of pixels. Oh! I don't know if that item actually got sent there for Saris on from that location or not. I don't know if it fully went through. I didn't see it. Oh, maybe it did?
Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the death was taken before the handshake completed, and therefore she's got to go back and get that item again.
Yeah. There is a little bit of a delay before the item actually gets sent. Part of the reason for that delay is so that soft resetting doesn't accidentally randomly send a bunch of items, because I was having problems with that at one point in development. So that's why you kind of see a little bit of a delay between, you know, sending an item and it being received.
All right, so the vampire cave being cleared out by Axe. The last chest was acquired, and it was consumable, I think. All right, so we have Chris currently in Oak. Looks like he must have made the hell run because there's no gas mask on that side. And Axe is currently on heading into, well, he was trying to head towards Saber South, but that is a firewall, and they do not have the fire sword. Chris currently running through the swamp with some medical herbs here to save the child. Looks like he's just
somehow
barely gonna make
no
it.
accessories. Like,
oh, he's just barely made it. That was perfect. Absolutely perfect. And then he gets another medical herb. Thanks, Mom. Alright, so Carmine's floor here. Didn't see the first two checks. It looks like a lot of consumables flying around. I'm not seeing many messages popping up. Oh, that was a sword of fire at the top right chest in Carmine's area. That's pretty big.
That's 2 swords in Goa, then? Series really needs to get back over to Goa.
Yeah, so the Sword of Water as well as the Sword of Fire for the Exploration Seed are both in Goa Fortress. I think Ceres is kind of in that, well, you know, I'd like to go in with 4 swords so I can just clear it in one fell swoop. She didn't realize she actually can.
Yeah.
But she's, you know, she didn't have the knowledge that we do, of course.
Right. That's always a rough spot to be in, because I've definitely done that before myself, and then realized, oh, the 4th sword is in Goa. And that's it's even more unlikely when you're playing a multi-world, right? So,
well, I don't know that I would say it's more unlikely. It's that, well, I guess, yeah, it is more unlikely would be the correct answer.
Yeah, because it's more likely just in your partner's seed a lot of the time.
Yeah. I mean, if you think of it like, oh, yeah, you know, there's X number of checks outside of this location, and there's X number of checks in it. Now you technically double that, because you have that many checks in the other seed at any given time.
Axe is also going and rescuing the child here. The difference being Axe has actually received the gas mask, so...
Yeah, and that's going to be a giant insect battle. This is something new we haven't seen, while Chris is currently heading through Mount Saber Oh, I'm sorry. This is the waterfall cave. All right, there's one item there. There's going to be a second item here on the right before Chris has to turn around and go the other direction since they do not have flight. He's going to be able to have to go all the way around to get the Sword of Water location. And let's see what our giant insect had today.
Ooh, Bow of Moon for the combat seed, looks like.
Very nice. It looks like that... Oh, I was going to say, it looked like it might have mixed right in with the text from the Dragonian soldiers, but nope, just took a couple seconds to get there. All right, so Tornell on the is in the GBC cave currently, heading back to some of these original checks. Did he never come back here? Or is he just killing enemies?
He might not have ever come back, because that... If he had come back here, that chest would have been gone.
Yeah, that would have... Yeah, that's a Sphere Zero location. When you abandon a Sphere Zero location for 45 minutes, that's terrifying.
Well, it's not because of Oops All Mimics. That's the problem. I think that's what it was, is like, if you'll recall, the combat seed first sword was Sword of Thunder, and so you immediately were off to, like, Sahara and going through Pyramid, and actually routing back to East Cave is tricky then.
Yeah, it would make it it would put it Sphere 1, not Sphere 0, because you do need the sword. But still, yeah, I mean, that's such an early location, you know, that's immediately accessible once you get that sword. That's a scary location to leave behind.
Now, as it turns out, they were both junk.
Yeah, that was a mimic I saw from the one chest.
Yeah, the other one was a medical herb, so...
Garbaggio!
But yeah, if there had been something important there, I could extremely understand forgetting that spot for a while.
Sarah's making sure to talk to the NPC with the greatest dialogue ever. So you saved us, big deal. Can you imagine? You get captured by people, somebody comes to rescue you, and you're like, what do you want from me? Get out of here. Like totally breaking from the RPG norm of, oh yes, thank you so much, let me help you out however I can. Nah, get out of my face. Alright, so we got a Kelbesk 1 fight here. This is one of the more obnoxious bosses in the game because he likes to play tackle, and the projectiles that he stomps the ground and spawn is completely random. And Ceres does not have a sword that can damage him, which looks like that must be water.
Yep.
Oh, and she's
Seems
making her way into Goa.
Actually... Yeah. It looks like it's time.
Good. That'll get him back on track. He's going to use flight here to glitch over the gauntlets.
Hang on, something important did happen in Saber North, though. The back of prison chest was flight for the exploration seed. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, that's a good find. That means that all this stuff, well, now Axe is just making his way into the waterfall cave here. So where Chris had to, walk around both sides, flight's going to save like a minute and a half of walking. About a minute.
Looks like Sirius is opting to go turn in that Stixie key before going back into Goa. Tried the front door of Goa. The front door of Goa is locked by water, so you have to go through the back door. Access anything in there.
Perfect. Yeah, it looks like
so
she's doing just about everything she can to not go into Goa.
I can kind of understand it. You've already, from Siri's point of view, she's already been to that part and tested it with one sword. You'd like to, if that is also waterlocked, then you've wasted a bunch of time walking back down there again. But as we know, it's not, and in fact, it is locking the Sword of Water, so...
Yeah.
I understand the strategy, it's just not paying off for her.
However, that flame bracelet, that will pay dividends, because there were 2 bosses in there that were weak to fire, as I recall.
Was it fire? I thought it was thunder. Oh, Motto 2 was fire, yeah.
Mado. Yeah, Mado 2.
Yeah, that'll help.
I think it was Carmine as well.
Could be. Yeah, Carmine's not a real boss, let's be honest.
No, well, he's supposed to be the strongest of the 4 generals, and he's the biggest pushover in the game.
Part of the problem is Carmine is actually balanced as though you don't have the bracelet because he blocks the storm bracelet, but
Right.
but also his pattern's pretty obvious and like pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah.
Whereas all of the other bosses are a lot more random.
The other funny thing
Which
is
is
that
part of what makes them so dangerous, yeah.
Carmine is balanced around not having a bracelet, but that should make him stronger because the Sword of Thunder with the ball would normally do twice as much damage. So it should actually have him be stronger than he is, but he is just no. Alright, Sarah's clearing the entire thing out. You can take that flame bracelet, and it looks like she's heading back into the backside of Goa. And this is the path.
Yeah, I like that reset there, by the way, to just completely, basically just teleport yourself down Mount Hydra very quickly. Something you can only do in Archipelago.
Yeah, and getting the resources that she burned along the way. Oh, she's going to make the check on the wall again here to make sure she doesn't miss the Night Dew location. One of the Night Dew locations. In our community, when you're in a tournament event and you blunder a location, that gets named after you. Night Dew's got a couple of them. Just like the Axe Chest I mentioned earlier and the Kaladan spot, they're all named after runners who've had some fun moments in events.
All right. It looks like we could, in fact, break that wall. It was paralysis for the exploration seed.
Wow, this mimic.
You reset, you're just gonna get sent the mimic again.
Yeah. Worth. Just burn it and move on. Alright, so we've got both runners on Team Teal heading into Goa. We have Tornell clearing out Sabera's fortress currently. And Chris is looking a bit BK'd, maybe? Not entirely certain. Unless this is a recheck on the Carissa Cave. So where was that flight location again?
It was Saber North, prison key spot.
Okay. In the on the combat side.
In the combat side, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Chris getting a key there. Gonna
Looks
go
like we've
back
got
here.
double bosses on the Teal side. It's gonna be a fairly easy Moto 2, actually. Because X has the bracelet.
Yeah, and Mato is... You kind of notice that the level 3 charges kind of are perfectly designed to fight the bosses that they're meant to fight. And as a result of that, it makes Mato go down pretty quick. Alright, Chris here is clearing out the Carissa Cave. Didn't catch what the first item was. Cornell gonna talk to Clark. Try to jump out of the way of a potential mimic. But it was an antidote.
Looks like the Crystal Plant Cave chest was the Psycho Armor for the Exploration Seed.
And an ACMLM figurine. A pretty notable NES runner. A lot of the figurines are named after speedrunners and tournament victors. Full stupid clearers.
You see,
they are trophies after all.
Chris trying to use... you see Chris trying to use a couple of those statues, by the way. One of the things you can learn by doing that is the trade-in item for Arylis in Amazons doesn't have an effect when you use it. Every other item, key item, if you use it in the wrong spot, there's an error message that pops up. But I think because of the way it interacts with change, and you have to use change to be able to use that trade-in item, that item doesn't have that effect. So you can tell what the Queen's trade-in item is without having to go talk to her.
Yeah, and the reason actually for it is because change, you can't swing your sword when you're changed. There's no animations for it. So the item doesn't need to provide an error message because there's no animation that it could cancel out. All right, we got a check here for Tornell.
It's like Ceres did set up a sword charge glitch for the Sabera 2 fight, by the way, but ran out of MP, and so is now reduced to level 2 shots.
Still good though, because that is an 8 base damage, having the level 3 charge on. Just taking a bop there. Gonna burn an opal, which is unsurprising, but still, Sabera's gonna go down real quick. There's a lot of damage here.
Yep.
I'd like to point out.
This is why you have the opal, so like.
Yeah, I'd like to point out we're an hour into the seed, and Ceres is still level 5. That is testament to the combat seed's lack of experience, especially early. Tornell is up to 7. What happens is that there's a number you see there called DL, and effectively what that is that's a scaling number. Whenever a key item is acquired, the scaling goes up, and the monsters get more difficult, the shops get more expensive, with the exception of armor, which gets cheaper because its value goes down throughout the game. And enemies drop more money in gold. With the combat flags having the low experience value on, for about the first 15 key items, there's effectively no gains on experience. So you're basically getting 1s and 2s for about the first 15 levels of scaling. And that's the reason that their levels are kept down lower. It does eventually catch itself up, and it's fine, over time. But yeah, early on, it's pretty rough.
I think the other thing that's happening here is Ceres, even more so than Tornell in the same seed, has been really aggressive about, I'm going to do these checks and then I'm going to reset. Which every time you reset, like, you still keep all the items you get, but you don't keep the experience you get. Notably the experience from killing the mimics that are the chests in this game. In this seed. And
mimics are also in the high experience category, along with enemies like Medusas that we mentioned before. Tornell trying to find the magic pixel there to get through the rabbit skip. Took a few tries, but he nails it. Chris is fighting Sabera 1 up in his side, and Axeman is currently navigating Kalbesk's floor at the end of Goa.
Oh, and there we go. There's that Sword of Water for Ceres, so she's now going to be able to full clear this. She's 1 bow away from go mode at this point.
Yeah.
Still got a couple of bosses to kill, but that will not take long.
No, it's Kelbesk 1 and 2 plus Carmine. So Carmine and Kelby are going to drop here during the rest of the run through Goa, and then it's just a short run over to Saber North to be able to get the final clear.
Especially, Ceres has already been to Saber North, already cleared most of it, has flight. You can just teleport to Nadares, fly up the big slope, get straight to the boss.
Yeah.
You can even do a sword charge glitch if you want, which, because she's already tested 3 of the swords, she knows what Kelbesk 1 is weak to, so yeah, it's a really easy sword charge glitch to set up.
That's a tragedy. Tornell was about to pick up that flight spell, but he killed the mimic a little too high and couldn't pick up the chest. It was up in the wall. There's flight for it should be flight. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I was gonna say there's flight for Chris. So now Chris can start making a ton of.
Honestly, convenient as you're navigating Oasis Cave to get flight.
Yeah, right. For sure. That's an
you couldn't have done that like
too.
A minute earlier,
right? Good find. Good find. You'd love to be in comms to hear some of these things like, oh, finally. We all know that feeling. When you've been running around the whole game without flight, you suddenly get it's like, oh, thank God. All right, so Axe going through Sabera's floor here. This is still uncharted territory. Ceres resetting after, I think that was a reset. Looked like it. Alright, testing the sword. Gonna sword charge glitch this one. Just like Tornell did, because it's literally right here. And Kelbeck 2 should be down real quick.
Yeah, this is probably the easiest sword charge glitch to pull off in the game, assuming you can approach Kelbesk from the back.
Yeah. There used to be a fun bug where you could set your camera in a perfect position and just walk right by Kelbesk 2 without triggering the fight. And we had to fix that one. That was a K-Foul special. He did it a couple of times and we were just like, what? What did you do? It's just, you set the camera in the perfect position and you're able to walk around the trigger. But no more. That has been fixed.
Alright, Sirius has decided to warp out after clearing Kelbesk 2 and is probably going through the front in order to get to Carmine.
No,
that might save a little bit of time.
Yep, making sure to grab the Brokahana check. That's one of those locations that's really easy to forget if you don't do it immediately after killing Mado 1. Because it's a very, it's out of the way, it's a one-off, and you require additional items. So if you don't have access to it immediately after Mado, then it's one of those it gets forgotten all the time. Because it's just out of the way. Alright, yeah, Sarah's going in the front door. Gonna run to Carmine, clear out the basement. Gonna get Axe's fire source. So Axe had to bail out of Sabera's floor there during his trip through Goa because he did not have the fire sword or the thunder sword, whichever one it is that actually breaks that wall. It must be fire because I don't think Axe fought Mado 2.
No, he did. He did.
Oh, he did. He did. So then,
because
Chris just hasn't gotten there yet. So Chris is right behind, after doing this. Tornell saving a child in the swamp. And Ceres is about to get Axe's Sword of Fire. There it is.
looks like we have both Bow of Sun and Bow of Moon on both exploration players, so a Crypt Dive is on the table.
Yeah, Crypt is exceedingly out of the way. It is the farthest point in the game as far as progression is concerned. There are 2 items that are in there, and they're not short checks. Not only do you have to break through the lion statues, but you got to run through the place to get to both of them. And there's a long run back at the end of each chest. So they are dedicated checks. If you're going after it, you're doing it because you either don't have a lot of other options or you're making a Hail Mary because they are way out of the way.
And I would say in this 2v2 format, the Hail Mary doesn't make as much sense unless it's literally the last thing either of your players needs.
Right. All right, so here we go. We're gonna have a Carmine fight on Ceres' side. Chris is making his way through Mado's floor, yeah. Axe in the Carissa plant cave. I thought I remember the flame bracelet being used, or fire sword being used for Carmine. Going down real quick.
Oh, we ran out of MP for level 3 shots, but that doesn't really matter.
That's funny, because that's one of the cheaper ones, too. Still ran out of MP.
I mean, it's part of being level 7, and also, you use a lot of flight MP getting through the Carmine's floor sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Just so you avoid the damage on the spike floor.
Yeah.
Now, it is possible to, use flight to jump around and consume no MP when you know what you're doing, but not exactly the easiest thing to do if you're unpracticed at it.
We even saw a series doing some of that, doing some of the hopping. It's getting the exact timing down to use no MP instead of very little MP is tricky, but it does save MP even if you're not doing it perfectly.
Yeah. If you watch someone like myself or Axe do it, you'd think it was really simple, but we just have the rhythm down for it and we're practiced at it. Alright, so Saber... Was that Saber North from the back that Chris just went to try to do, and it required the Thunder Sword, so Saber North access is still not available unless the runners want to go and trigger the kidnapping to come in from the front, which it looks like that's probably what Chris is doing right now. It's going to trigger the kidnapping to get access to Saber North from the front. Oh, I stand corrected. Never mind, just ignore what I say, because the runners are going to do what they want. He's going to the Tornado Bracelet spot.
Ceres has remembered where these Medusas are and is like, okay, I need levels. I need levels and I need money.
You need levels and money after all the bosses are dead. Don't worry about that.
Might also not have much left to do. I guess... Oh, or maybe just...
no,
the walls in here were water, weren't they?
Yeah,
okay.
Water walls. So this is, I don't know that Tornell has been back here yet. Axe making his way through Dragon 1. Covering some new territory here. Alright, so that was a whole load of consumables and a mirrored shield. Oh, hazmat suit. Okay. Fine, find. So, Chris must have already done this because I saw Tornell with the hazmat suit earlier. Ooh, a warrior ring.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that's a good find. For the uninitiated, the warrior ring is an item that allows you to fire level 1 charge shots without charging at all. Just swinging your sword fires it out. The catch is that when you're in a race, running around with the speed boots is probably the better option. Because, speed and movement in the game is important. But if you don't have the speed boots, then yeah, the warrior ring is great. It's also really good for bosses if you don't have, battle magic and power ring. It's very good.
Speaking of speed boots, Mount Hydra goes in ledge for the exploration side had their own speed boots.
Excellent. Very nice. Okay, so now we mentioned earlier about how one side having speed boots and the other side not having them was not as big of a deal. But at this point, you now have 2 runners on the one side that have speed boots and only 1 on the other. So there is a distinct speed advantage that's going to be happening here for the runners on the teal side. And unfortunately, with the way that this game works, that is simply time that Chris will never get back. No matter what he does at this point, he's going to be, just not having those available to him.
I love your explanation. Chris also has speed boots. All 4 runners have speed boots at this point.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Axe was actually the last one to pick them up.
So then I should have, if I had seen that a while ago, I should have explained this like 5 minutes ago. I can't watch everything at once.
There's so much going on.
Yep, Axe picking up his own opal statue there at the Bow Sun location. Good find.
Ceres opting to go do the oak checks here. So
Ceres needs 1 bow and Kelbesk 1 for go mode. Axe needs 1 bow and a thunder sword for go mode, and so does Chris. And Tornell is 2 bows away from go mode. So we're still really, really close here.
The exploration side doesn't even need the Sword of Thunder. You don't need all the swords.
Oh, it's coded. It's coded. The Crystalis doesn't require it. Is that only coded that way for?
So Crystalis only require. Oh, right.
No,
well,
you're right. They do need all 4 because Crystalis won't activate without it.
Except here's the thing. That is true in the branches that have the Crystalis outside a tower. However, I had not put that into Archipelago yet, so that will be true in the tournament. When we get to the actual tournament, there will be an update between now and then that adds Crystalis outside a tower to Archipelago. I promise you that. But for right now, the exploration side does not need all of their swords.
Wow. I stand corrected. I've been playing every one of these as though that was a requirement. Funny to know.
Now, to be fair, I think a lot of our runners have as well. So we'll see if the Sword of Thunder ends up being our quote-unquote go mode item. We'll see if they know that they can clear it a little early.
Yeah. All right, so Tornell is heading to Stixie right now. And we got Chris going in the front side of Goa. Axe is clearing out Carmine's area, and Ceres is heading to Stomp's hut for a face-off with Stomp.
Could be, yeah.
And she does have a pair of warp boots, so we aren't going to see much of a face-off here.
At some point, Ceres still needs to go back to Saber North and finish off Kelbesk 1. Maybe she's trying to put it off until she has...
There it is. Yep.
Okay.
Just wanted to save the warp boots. So she set a save point, went and did those checks, and then decided to reload with 2 pairs of warp boots instead of having none. I like that
makes sense.
Good play.
Yeah.
Yep, good play.
The only checks that you do have to save are the boss checks.
Correct.
Those are the only ones you can't reset out of, because that is looking at your local game state, so... If your game doesn't know that these bosses are cleared, then you will not be able to finish the game.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen anyone get got by that yet, so hopefully now is not the first time that happens.
You never know. Alright, down goes Kelby 1. All bosses are down for both combat flags. I'm assuming there's no prison key yet.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I don't know what key that is. Is that the Stixie key, maybe?
It must be the Stixie key, because...
Yeah.
Because she reset out of Stixie earlier, so she would still have it in her inventory.
Yeah, makes sense. Axe is doing a crypt dive. Here we go.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what else Axe even has to do at this point, so this kind of makes sense. Granted, actually being able to keep track of what any player has to do at any given time is a nightmare in a racing scenario like this. Like,
it's a tall order. Sometimes it's hard for the runners to keep track of what they have available and what they've done. Let alone,
the runners
watching.
are only keeping track of one person.
Right? Alright, so the final check in the crypt
was a mimic. There it is.
Alright, so the crypt was a complete bust. All right,
yeah, the shield ring shows up as progression, but it's not. It's really not. Logically, it can be expected to use it to get through these shooter statues, but also, like, you can use flight to get through them on the combat side. You can use barrier to get through them always. You can just face tank them.
Yes, Sarah's taking care of Bert there. You know, Bert normally is in the Stixie cave alongside of his brother Bert. Don't confuse them. One is Bert with a U and the other is Bert with an E. Which one goes where? Well, that's for you to figure out. I don't ask.
And we don't talk about Bort.
Bort doesn't exist. Even if he does have a license plate with his name on it, he does not exist. All right, so it looks like Axe is in full BK mode at this point. He has no turn-ins. Yeah.
Or at least trying to figure out if he's forgotten anything.
because he's got all of his turn-ins done. He's done all the bosses he has available. Oh, except Sabera here. He didn't have access to Sabera, but we don't know if Sabera's even killable. She may be Thunder required. Because Chris hasn't done it either, and therefore we have no idea whether or not Sabera here is actually killable.
But if you think you've got nothing else to do, it doesn't hurt to go double check.
Right. So we have a nope, Thunder required. Okay, so Sabera and Carmine both require the Sword of Thunder in the exploration seed.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, are you really doing this? What a hero. What an absolute hero. Oh, that's really bad. That's so unfortunate that the...
Oh, let's do insects.
Dude, the tomatoes just decided to go and give him a hug while he was stuck in place and the boss transition was happening.
And he's doing this without putting on the hazmat. Which I'm pretty sure he has. Oh, no, he does not.
He doesn't have
He's doing this out of logic. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's running out of stuff to do.
Yeah, I mean...
Right. Kelbest goes down. Alright, so the 2 items for Kelby were... looking like a couple of consumables.
Oh, you gotta move off the trigger axe. It won't give you the... It won't send the checks while you're on the trigger. You gotta move off the trigger.
Is that really how it works? I don't think I've ever seen that before. I never stood on a trigger like that. That's funny.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
It was key to something for the other slot.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay. And we got Thunder Walls, so there's still no access here on Saber North. Alright, so Carissa Meadow here has a spot that's already been checked. We know there's no progression here. What do our runners have left?
No, there is in Crystalis. That is the Statue of Gold for the combat seed. I think it's the exploration seed. It wasn't progression.
Ah.
Alright. We've decided we have enough magic rings. We're going to start selling some of them. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll see runners sometimes hoard magic rings for the end game, but honestly, the more I've played this, the more I've realized you only need like maybe 1 or 2.
3.
Like especially if you're doing tornado or flame bracelet strats for the tower, 1 or 2 is more than enough.
Yeah. If you're gonna do Thunder Strats, 3. 1 for each floor.
Yep, pretty much.
Alright, so the Statue of Gold, I don't have access to the hint, so I don't know what is there. Oh, they haven't gotten it yet.
We're about to find out.
Okay.
Interesting, the hint didn't send.
Hmm.
Wonder why that is.
I wonder if... is that local?
Oh, yeah, never mind. It must be something for the combat seed slot. So, to explain what we're talking about, normally, if you're playing the standalone randomizer, when you talk to Asina in the back room there, she will tell you the item that you can get on the ocean. And because everything is an AP item in the Archipelago implementation, I set that up to hook up to the actual hint system of Archipelago, so it'll automatically send a hint through Archipelago. But the trick here was the broken statue, as it turns out, which seems a little backwards.
Yep.
I feel like all that really means is you just smash the Statue of Gold on the altar, and that fixed the whirlpool.
Yeah, it also fixed the problem of not having the broken statue. Oh, you need to use the glowing lamp, not the broken statue. There we go.
Alright, and that was the Orb of Wind. Neat. But but because of the way the hint works, I happen to be logged into the exploration side on my text clients on both sides. So because it was a hint for a location in the combat side, for an item in the combat side, I didn't see it. That's all that means.
I tried to see what that was, but I didn't catch it. What was it that she just got? Was that another trade-in item, I think that was?
Yeah, it looked like it was the Carissa plant.
Okay, that's what I thought I saw, but it was a little tough to read.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can see, the text goes like that, so it's really, really easy to miss anything when you're watching.
Yeah, but that Carissa plant, we're about to see it on the left side, that gets the Sword of Thunder for the exploration seed.
Oh, that's pretty big. That's gonna give.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
And both runners just got it.
All right. So with that in mind now, yeah, I noticed that Sarah's had like 600 turn-ins, but that's because half of them she turned in and then reset out of. So she's got an inventory full of stuff that's kind of clouding us from determining, what she has and what she doesn't have. Like, for instance, we know she used the eyeglasses, we know she used the key to Stixie, but they're still in her inventory.
Yep.
Okay, so she must have gotten prison key, 'cause she's going up the backside.
And it's...
Alright, that was a mimic. Yep. Axe, meanwhile, going to start clearing out the Saber South here, since Thunder Sword is available.
Yeah, honestly, I bet you the interesting stuff is now happening on the exploration side. That Sword of Thunder is going to unlock basically the rest of the world. And all that's going to be left after that is a bunch of trade-ins.
Yeah, so there are 3 bosses, it looks like, that they all required Thunder, because Sabera 1, Sabera 2, and Carmine are all, still out there at large. And that means there's multiple regions that need to be explored still, and you have multiple caves that all required Thunder. So yeah, I'm in agreement. That's basically going to be all exploration from this point on.
Yeah. It looks like, Motto 1 always requires a Sword of Thunder to trigger the Massacre, so they also haven't done that on the exploration side.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the bosses aren't required, so one of the things to note is, if you've watched other tournaments of ours in the past, one of the things you'll see runners do is, as soon as bosses become available, players will rush those bosses, and that's because we're usually always playing with the story mode flag set on, which requires you to beat all of the major bosses. So since they're required objectives anyways, it makes sense to do those checks first, because if they have the things you need, you're just done. However, that is not true for the exploration flag set in this multi-world setup. So it's not strictly necessary that the players actually do that.
Right.
Oh, that's fun. The Sword of Water spot on the combat side had the Flute of Lime for the combat side, so you immediately just hop over the river and go check Rakahana as well.
Great success. Alright, so that is also an Alarm Flute, which is 2 more checks for the combat side. Axe not very happy there with what happened over, getting the item from Zebu. Okay, we have, we're gonna toot the horn here to send Kensu to a faraway land. It works differently in Mario 3, okay?
It's like, you toot the horn and it summons a whirlwind, and all you gotta do is position yourself right so that they get hit by the whirlwind and you don't.
Yeah, so now we're taking the Zelda 1 strats. Yeah, laughing at people as we send them off to a faraway land. Where does Kensu go? We don't care. He's a jerk. It may as well be a bird.
All right, looks like the Sleeping Kensu had a bow for the exploration seed. So that's actually the exploration seed on the teal side is now in go mode. We are looking for one bow, the bow of sun for the combat side, and then teal side's going to be in go mode.
Yeah. That's very nice. Now, granted, at this point, even though the bosses are strictly not required for the exploration side to finish, that doesn't mean that that bow isn't hiding on one of those bosses or behind one of them. So, just because they're not strictly required doesn't mean they're not required, if you follow my logic.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we did find something fun in... So, the exploration side's Saber North has teleport and refresh for the combat side.
A little late.
A little late, but better late than never, I suppose.
Still good. Yeah, still good. That means no more having to, constantly save and reload to save the last 2 pairs of warp boots that you've been hanging on to for 35 minutes. Saris.
Yeah, all those reloads are really catching up to her in terms of experience. She's still only level 9 at 46 scaling.
Yeah, the good news is, though, is that all it will take is like a single hallway of good enemies, and that'll be like 2 levels. So,
yeah,
it's not that big of a deal. Like, there's 1 level right there. And yeah, these wyverns are easy to kill. They're worth a gang of experience. Kelbesk 1 has gone down over on the exploration side, and that is 2 additional checks. Still looking for bows.
Tornell struggling slightly to fight the mimic in that very enclosed room at the beach house.
Yeah, the beach house and Aurelius' basement suck.
Yeah.
They suck. Alright, Chris is gonna head in and do Trigger Made a 1. Meanwhile, Cornell is just checking the whirlpool location. Gonna be very disappointed here in a moment. Because that doesn't matter. Oh, actually it does. That's not randomized turn-ins. That's Tornell on the top of the mountain. That is actually important. I stand corrected.
Oh, yeah.
That is a check for the combat side.
We know from watching the teal team do it, though, that check is junk. It is a magic ring for the exploration side.
Yeah, but the combat side, we haven't seen either runner had the tornado bracelet to go there. Saris is about to be the first.
No, Ceres just finished that check.
Oh, she did? Okay, so then it was bugged.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is that check. We just saw it. It's junk.
Oh.
Ceres is now grinding. And like you said, already made it up to level 12. Not a problem.
Right, it takes no time at all. Very quick.
Especially not once your scaling is that high. Like,
yeah. So just for just for the sake of explanation here, every single item has been found in the game for Axe. He's at 50 scaling. The 51st item is Crystalis at the end of the game, and there are 3 items left in the world for Saris. One of them is that Bow of Sun.
Yep.
This is a full clear. Look at this.
It sure is.
Down goes Carmine. It'll be the first time we see Carmine go down on the exploration side. Okay, neither one of those was the Bow of Truth, so Carmine was not holding on to it.
Now a full arsenal for Ceres. All of the bracelets. And it looks like Ceres has decided, you know what? I have the levels. I'm just gonna go sit in the crypt.
Yeah.
I'm guessing she doesn't have much else to do.
If anything.
Yeah.
Bow of Moon. Gonna warp out to save that statue. Oh, you know what? She has a windmill guard, doesn't she? Yes, she does.
Sure seems that way. Meanwhile, on the pink team, we just saw that bow get picked up.
Yep. It looks like she's just grinding.
Oh yeah,
She's
I'm looking back through the log. She already did the windmill guard. It was junk.
Okay. Chris is heading into the backside of Goa, gonna finish the cleanup there, which Axe is currently doing.
You can see he finished up that boss, immediately got teleported out, and is leaving.
All right, so Sabera won, and no, that was the bow. That was it. That was go mode. It was on Sabera too. Okay, so our teal team is now heading to the end game. All items have been found. Both players are in go mode. They're off. So all we need here is for Chris to go ahead and finish up Carmine and then take down Sabera 2, and they will be in go mode as well. So if I'm Tornell in this at this point, the thing I'm actually doing is just going straight to the crypt and just waiting, because as soon as that bow gets found, I want to be ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be done with other things first, because if not, it might be in your game still, but we know it's not.
Yeah. Oh,
but yeah, this was
not
pretty
turned in
close
the
to a
tornado
full
bracelet. That's what it is. He hasn't turned in the tornado bracelet yet, but he has it, so he's going to run back up the mountain real quick just to make sure.
Might as well.
We've all been burned by this check very late into these runs.
Yeah. But this one is kind of infamous just because it has such high requirements compared to almost everything else in the game. Because it requires bracelet, that's 2 extra items. It's really easy to forget about this one.
It's 2 extra items in a flag set that's not guaranteed to put those items anywhere early, because combat upgrades are just that. They're combat upgrades. They're not considered for progression towards, with no battle magic on and with RO off. So there is no progression requirements for it except for whichever one Tornell wants, and that just means it can be anywhere.
Alright, we've got Double Dragon on the left side.
Yep. Now, is this Double Dragon 1 or 2?
This is 1. We'll see 2 on the right side in a little bit.
Okay, it's got better music in that game. I'll wait for that. Did Saris get the 1 cycle? Oh! 7 HP and a death! Oh, it's brutal.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's brutal. Missing the 1 cycle and then getting shot in the face. Like, yeah, that's tough. Axe, meanwhile, using the fire sword here to take care of the robots. You have to kill the 3 bronze robots in order to spawn the white robots. And when all 6 of the white robots on a floor have been cleared, then the stairs appear to the next floor. And rinse and repeat until we've reached the top floor, where the Crystalis sword is, and then it's just up and finish off Dinah.
Meanwhile, on the right side, Chris has found that Bow of Sun, and you see our players doing synchronized teleports to Sahara.
Yeah.
Tornell taking a moment to use the inn first. Chris just going right for it. Who needs MP? We've got magic rings.
He's got, what, 7 magic rings in his inventory?
Yeah.
Alright, Saris, round 3 for Dragon 2. Doesn't look like she knows the standard manipulation. She's going to use the wing strat, then gets caught on the wings. The wings don't actually do damage to the player, but they do affect your vertical position, and there's a manipulation to get him to do the long lasers quicker, and it's based on your vertical position, and there's a spot in the room that we have discovered that actually correctly sets that, as opposed to, offsetting it by taking a hit.
I forget, does that still work in the randomizer as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to actually learn that at some point.
Yeah, it's really simple. The reason that players used it initially, we knew that it had an effect. Taking a hit had an effect on the standard fight when we were just doing routing and running. It was Steve who discovered how it actually functions when he was programming it, and he's the one who figured out the manipulation spot, which was something
sense.
that, we didn't actually know in the speedrunning community prior to the randomizer being a thing.
All right.
Okay, so we have Axe on the 3rd floor of the tower. Saris is here on the 1st floor, and both Chris and Tornell are fighting Dragon 2.
Yep.
All this is going to take to swing in the favor of the pink team at this point is Saris taking a death. And as you can see, her health is very low, and her resources are, it's going to be up to her to keep herself alive. And this could swing really quickly. That helicopter there is just a royal pain. The helicopters are the worst kind of bird. And, what happened to her refresh?
I don't think she ever got it. It was on Mount Saber North, and I think before it got sent. Actually, I don't know. Was it on Mount Saber North? Did Axe forget a check?
Maybe. Did Axe never make the Thundersword checks? Did he just do Kelby and Bale?
No, because he did Saber North. He got teleport. He didn't do the back of prison chest. He forgot that check.
Oof. Okay, so Dinah is down for Axe. We have a tower race here. This is anyone's game at this point. It's so close. Saris does have a very slight advantage, but it's about half a floor at this point.
Saris has made it to floor 3.
Yep. As long as she doesn't take a death, this should be a victory for Teal. If she dies, it's almost certainly a victory for Pink.
Yeah. It's going to be really close either way.
Yeah. She's defaulted back to strategies that are comfortable, using the warrior ring and trying to herd the cattle that way.
Yeah, hey, whatever works.
Yep.
And I feel like if you're playing a seed for this long, you really got to be feeling it.
Yeah. No, they anytime that you get this deep into a seed, you're feeling like, man, we either messed something up that they didn't, or how have they not finished yet? Because an hour and 40 minutes into these, it's about a pretty average time. It's not an exceptional time. It's not a bad time. It's pretty average.
The series has made it through the tower.
Yep. This should be over pretty quick.
Nope. Go back inside.
You got to go inside.
Yeah, if you walk out of that room too fast and you get Crystalis outside on the tower, you got to go back inside to actually have the stairs spawn. But otherwise, yeah.
Okay, and this should do it. We should have a official victory for the Teal team here in about 15 seconds. And get your GGs out for the Teal team. That's going to do it for them, sir.
Hang on. Dodge. Okay.
It's good.
Series did run out of MP there for barrier. There we go.
And GGs to the Teal team.
Nicely done.
Yeah, very good. What a close race, because look at this. You got Tornell fighting Dinah right now, and Chris is right there with him. I mean, this was a super close race. I mean, when you have a full clear seed like this, I mean, that's just how it goes. The different route diversions between our runners and the different choices just ended up equalizing out really close here at the end.
Just taking the time to meme just a little bit.
Yeah, why not? They already know.
All right, we'll see if we can get some of our runners in here for a post-match interview. But yeah, that was a very close race.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'll preemptively just say it. Thank you very much, RPG Limit Break, for putting this on. This was great. We had a great time, and I hope that this goes towards helping you guys, understanding the process that it takes to get something like this going, so you guys can have more of these kinds of events, because these are really fun. Yep. Welcome, runners. GG's.
And honestly, you could probably go ahead and start dragging the other two in here as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, GG's, Sirius and Axe, Team Teal. Well done.
Thank you.
Everybody's here.
Yeah, we got
Okay, everybody's here.
Jeez.
I
All
will
right,
say, Axe, you did miss a check on
no.
Saber North. You missed the
I
back
read.
prison check.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
And that had Sirius refresh.
Oh no! Sorry, series. Oh,
Yep.
sorry about that.
I gotta
Yeah,
say, there
I
was a
noticed
couple of
it
moments.
after I noticed that after I hit the
Oh, mic working?
reset,
Okay.
and then I never went back for it.
Yeah, we had.
But yeah.
There was a couple of moments there. Like Ceres had problems with Dragon 2, and the tower was
Yeah.
exceedingly scary. And if Ceres had taken the death in the tower, Pink wins this match, as you can see by the time.
Wow.
It was that
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, I told her no pressure. It's-
No,
Took
she
away
clutched
her
it out.
refresh, apparently.
Yeah, well, it would have been even less pressure, yeah, if you'd have found that refresh.
But yeah, well done all around. That was a heck of a seed to get through. That was basically a full clear on both sides. Like, everyone ended at like 49, 50, 51 scaling. So,
that
Yeah, I was
tough
really
getting
worried
my-
when Go ahead.
I was going to say that beginning, looking for my partner's sword, doing all the wrong checks first.
Yeah. Well, you played out of logic a bit of a scary check, because the initially, by running through the statues like you did and going into Stixie, there was a potential there could have been a sword, but that was absolutely not the progression at that time because it was 100% out of logic play.
Oh, I forgot about that. Whoops.
Yeah.
See,
No
I
worries.
mentioned this. I did mention this during the broadcast. We play so many of these flag sets. We're playing on both sides, and it's easy to forget which ones have the glitches on, which ones don't, which ones are in logic. When you're flip flopping around a lot, and so yeah, it's definitely easy to misremember things like that.
And breaking logic matters a little bit less in when you're just playing solo, because you're gonna have to do those things eventually. But when you're holding your ally hostage, so to speak.
yeah.
Speaking of, I got very scared because we had talked about trying to do stuff that's been available in Logic for a while, rather than like going super deep into the logic if your teammate's missing something. So when I finally found Axe's Sword of Thunder on the Love Pendant turn-in, which I was pretty sure had been available for a while, Love Pendant to Carissa, I was like, oh no.
It's funny if you go back and watch this. You guys got Sword of Thunder for
Within 2
the
seconds.
exploration seed like within 5 seconds of each other. It
I'm
was
looking at the time
neck
right
and
now.
neck.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yep.
it wasn't exactly the highest priority check in general, but it's still
Yeah.
like it was just sitting there.
Yeah, and the last bow on Sabera 2, like
Yep.
totally isolated in the fortress there was
Yeah.
classic.
I'm pretty sure
It's
that was
funny.
my
It's like
last
the exploration seed doesn't have to do the bosses, except you kind of did.
check. And they were
Yeah,
kind
I
of
made the
blocked by the
joke.
last sword.
Yeah, I
also-
made the joke during the broadcast that the bosses are not required, but that doesn't mean they're not required. And in this case, they were absolutely required.
It seemed like the speed boots too were on both sides were in places where everyone's going to get them it at pretty similar times, so I wasn't expecting that to really sway anything, which is nice to not have to worry when you get your speed boots. Like I probably didn't get this that much later than my opponent.
I think he
Axe
might have
got
actually.
his a little later.
I think Series. I think you actually had your speed boots first out of all 4 runners.
And then Axe
just
got speed boots last, so it
Yeah.
evens out.
yeah. And that's the thing is in a 2v2, it doesn't make as big of a deal because all it means is you hit BK faster. If your teammate is still like trying to find the whatever is unlocking you, but yeah.
Yeah, and the funny part was 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes for the first sword on the on the combat side to be able to start playing the game. It definitely, if you look at the times across the board, you can see where the gaps are. Like, I didn't get anything for 20 minutes in here. Didn't get a lot of progression or just killed a bunch of bosses. But the thing that was a little scary for a while there was that Saris, you ignored Goa, and we knew very early on because Tornell dipped Goa like immediately, and we knew the Sword of Water was in Goa. And so looking at the time difference for Water Sword, 38 minutes versus 59 minutes, that was a thing where we were like looking at it going, man, that could be the big difference. But it turned out it wasn't, but it could have been, and the decision to do so makes sense from both angles, whether or not you think it's just in your partner seed or whether or not you just don't want to double dip or,
And
The big difference is Series went into Goa the first time with only one sword, or I think, only one sword. Couldn't do anything past the Barrow's floor. Tornell for the first time went in with 3 swords already, and then full cleared as a result. So that's kind of where the difference was.
I knew there was enough early stuff available that, and in some practice that Axe and I did, I did Mado 2 and Goa stuff before West Saber, and then West Saber had everything that that we needed.
Of course.
So I'm like, let me just knock out all this Bryn Mawr stuff. I can at least get these like warps and not get too. Go ahead.
Our big hiccup was somebody trying to go up Gyron or Mount Hydra, and having no swords to defeat any of the baddies, and leaving his change there forever.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, for sure.
Importantly, I didn't forget any checks. That's the most important thing.
So it's when you all started getting this thing organized, I think the intent was that the exploration flags would generally be for the newer runner because the combat isn't as hard. But not calling like Tornell not a vet, but it seems like the 2 quote unquote vets were the ones who ended up doing exploration.
Yeah, I think it's more just about what you personally find easier in the game, because both of them can be complicated at times. Both of them can be quite difficult, but both of them, it depends on what you feel plays to your strengths. Like me, for example, I know I'm going to have a much better time with the exploration flag set than the combat one, because that's just how I play. I think Matrick, you're probably the opposite, right?
Yeah, I'll make the combat seed look easy.
So yeah.
But that's just because that's my, my greatest strength is, my combat in the game.
Yeah.
Cornell and I, we've been practicing. We were flipping back and forth.
Having the 2 flag sets be very different like that is... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Tornell and I were just flipping back and forth the past week or two, which during practice, and I just kind of flipped the coin, mostly because I screwed up my last combat one. So I said, all right, I'm exploring.
Sure. But that was definitely an intentional part of the design here. So,
and in reality too, the combat flag set is actually only more difficult in the earlier parts of the game, because once you get past the HX flag and you're actually getting standard experience from enemies, it's not that really, it's not that big of a deal. And in some ways, it's kind of easier because you don't have to deal with any of the glitches. You don't have to deal with randomized turn-ins. You don't need to keep a pen and paper stuff next to you of locations of things. And so it is easier in some aspects. And that's kind of part of the point with the initial design, is that one is not tremendously easier than the other. It's that they both have their own things that make them challenging, but they're different enough that if you just played one flag set and then went to the other, they're going to feel completely different. And so, I think we have accomplished all the goals I set out to do when I originally designed these flags.
See, our idea was that Axe is so good that he'll find me so much stuff to make combat easier that it's not as much to worry about. And I guess it worked
Except
out.
when I miss, the refresh for you.
I tried to warn you guys that there's some sort of like voodoo curse on this show, and everything becomes more difficult as soon as we boot up the stream.
Well, I think Axe and I got our worst case scenario out in practice a couple days ago. Although it did look a lot like this at the end, just 20 minutes slower.
All right, I do have.
So, any final thoughts from anyone on the seed before we wrap up here?
I do have a quick question. Obviously, I have timers on screen that are based on whenever I press the buttons. What are the actual official times based on the race timer you had going?
Yeah, so the official race time rooms, the teal team finished with an official time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, 45 seconds. The pink team was an official time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 57 seconds. So a minute, 12 seconds between the two teams.
Yep.
Yeah, I made sure to stomp that fruit of Rappoon before doing the final
we
fight.
Noticed. Good memes. Nobody kicked Stom on their way out from, Chiron at any point, so that's unfortunate.
I did my part with So You Saved Us, big deal.
Yep. Oh, I commented on that. That is one of the best NPC dialogue boxes in gaming.
So yes, as Chris has alluded to in the chat here, please come check out our Discord, come check out our website. We are starting up a tournament of this. The tournament is going to be running basically August and September. August and September. We're going to do some seeding races in late July. So please, if this looks interesting at all, come sign up. We're happy to help you get started. We're happy to walk you through some of the stuff, either technical setup or just learning the randomizer. We would love to have you. The more the merrier.
We also have some brand new runners that are entering the tournament as well. Guys that are just getting started here, learning. So, yeah, as you can see, there's complexity, but it's not an inaccessible randomizer. It's just there's a learning curve like there is with any other game.
Yep. I think that is going to do it for us here. Sid, Ashen, thank you so much for having us. It has been an absolute delight to put on this race for y'all and for the RPG Limit Break channel.
Yeah, like you said before, we were aiming for multi-world stuff, so thanks for giving us a very easy start. It was a delight having you all on the channel. We are going to head out to Dash Retro's channel here in a second. We've got Final Fantasy VII speedruns. I figured it's a little bit on point since Dash will be joining us next weekend for the Final Fantasy VII 100% TAS. But if you want to see more what we have on the calendar, you can check it out on our Twitch page, our actual website, and a litany of other spots. We've got a lot of stuff coming up in July, and we'll try and keep you updated on that. And once again, thanks, Crystalis crew, for offering this show. It was a real delight.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Then in that case,